Welcome back to the TD podcast for week one recap. Some really great games this weekend. Eagles beat the Cowboys. The Dark Magic no more for the Chiefs. Herbert might have an MVP season loading along with Aaron Rodgers, maybe. The Jets aren't as far off as we thought, or maybe as I thought.
You thought.
Sunday Night Football was elite. Probably one of the best games we've had since the Chiefs Rams 2018 game. And Monday night was just another good football game. But yeah, we're back. Week one recap. Here we go. But first, let's start off with Ant. What was your favorite headline of the week?
Well, obviously, I'm impartial to the Raiders winning, so that's a plus. But also, I did like how the Jets played. Obviously, I've been hooting and hollering about how I don't think they're that bad. So I think that felt good because obviously that's a kind of an unpopular opinion. Um, Outside of that, I don't know if there was anything outside of those two things. Oh, and the Chiefs lost, but they lost to the Chargers, so that's kind of a pro and a con. So take those three things as my top three headlines from this week one.
Yeah, a lot of things that happened week one. A lot of injuries happened. My 49ers are bugged with injuries.
They always
George
are.
Kittle probably out 3 weeks. Brock Purdy 2 to 5 weeks. Xavier Worthy might play this week. I think Terry and Arnold has a groin injury. Chris Godwin, we got news, could return week 5. Judkins could return this or not return, but make his NFL debut this
Mm-hmm.
weekend. Um, I'm sure we're missing a lot more injuries.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah,
a
week
lot.
one, Austin Eckler last night, as we are recording this on Friday
Mm-hmm.
after, week two has already started.
That's
It's
crazy.
it's going down in the NFL, boys. The injuries continuously happen and happen and happen. And we'll see what really happens with the
Oh, a broken collarbone as well for who's the Packers receiver?
Dontavian Wicks.
Yep,
I think that's his
Wicks
name.
broke his collarbone,
Yep.
and then there was a couple other injuries as well. So yeah, injuries have been rearing their ugly head to say the least to start this season.
Um, I believe our next segment is our little halftime segment, which is kind of our first quarter segment. Ant hit me with we're gonna watch 3 games and go from there.
Yeah, so
Okay.
our plan with this section of episode is each week we will each watch three videos, 3 games, and then come back with notes for you guys if you couldn't make it to those games. Well, like this week, I was like you guys, and I could not make all 3 games. I only watched the Raiders game. I had church stuff, busy, but this week I will be better. So my only notes were from the Raiders game because otherwise I would be lying. I saw a little bit from the Bengals and other things from the NFL Red Zone, but nothing crazy. So let's get to the Raiders and what I know. I'll do my best to not be partial, of course. First things first, the Raiders' offense was explosive to start. Gino was not afraid to throw the deep ball. The very first drive was 6 plays, 66 yards, and a 26-yard passing touchdown. That was beautiful. This entire offseason, we've seen deep balls to Trey Tucker. I'm glad that came to fruition into the real season. Um, Outside of that, Geno Smith was throwing absolute laser beams. He needle threaded it between 2 defenders. I believe that was also the first quarter. And then he iced the game with a throw to Dante Thornton. And then a different drive, or maybe even the same drive as that fourth quarter, he threw a nice pass to Michael Mayer, rolling out to the left and throwing it to the right after Brock Bowers had to exit with a knee injury. That's another injury to keep your eye on. Um, Excuse me. They were also, like I mentioned, very aggressive on offense. A lot of deep shots. They could not get their running game going outside of the first drive. Um, it was tough sledding for Ashton Genty and the others in the backfield. Um, but that was in large part because of the offensive line. I'm not really too worried about it for the Raiders' offensive line. Both Jackson Powers Johnson and Jordan Meredith. Geez, my brother-in-law's name is Alex Meredith. Throws me off every time. Um, they both swap positions this offseason, so there's going to be growing pains. Um, Outside of that, the pass protection also wasn't great. So basically, Gino's got to get the ball out quick, and we got to learn how to run the ball. Now, the linebackers also got eaten up by the tight ends for the Raiders. Um, who is it? It's Austin. I think it's Austin Hooper. Had himself a nice little game. Whoever the Patriots tight end is, um, he had himself a nice little game, especially late. Um,
Hunter Henry.
yep, Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper are both on their team, so I'm not crazy. But they both had nice little games there, and I think I already have. Yeah, hold on. Let me stop talking on my butt and use some stats real quick. Team stats. Oh shoot. Let me find it real quick. Do, 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 do. So yeah, Hunter Henry was 4 for 66 yards, and Austin Hooper had 1 for 10. So both of them obviously had themselves nice little games, averaging over 10 yards a reception. As for the Patriots, they were methodical on the offense. They didn't really take any deep shots. They took what the defense gave them, which sizes up for Josh McDaniels per usual. I also worry that his offensive scheme does not um, bode well for Drake May, I guess. Their offensive scheme, specifically Josh McDaniels, is more advanced and what's the word I'm looking for? Intense, I guess. And maybe Drake May needs more time to fully acclimate to it. And it's also just kind of a weird offense in general. So that's something to keep your eye out on, even if you do believe in Drake May. And then not much pressure given up. That was the first half. My first half, no. The second half was kind of a different story. The Raiders' defensive line really started to get after him. I think the Raiders finished with 4 sacks total. Um, One from Malcolm Kuntz, which was nice, and then Max Crosby also had one, and I can't remember who else had one. But regardless, both teams allowed 3 and 4 sacks, I believe. So about equal amount of pressure. But I wouldn't write off the Patriots' offensive line too soon with how young it is. So yeah, those are my notes from the Raiders Patriots game.
So me, I watched 3 games this weekend as I was supposed to. I watched Colts Dolphins, 49ers Seahawks, and Bills and Ravens. Kind of keep these short. Bills and Ravens. What a game. Just want to say Josh Allen's pocket presence was just phenomenal. He didn't panic in the pocket much at all. And he was just able to make the throws that needed to be made. And didn't panic when they were down. The Bills fought to the end. And again, that might have been the closest game that we've had since the Chiefs Rams game, where it was just electric. Really, really, really great game. And I believe that is a play-up matchup that probably is going to come later on. I think the Ravens are gonna take this one on the chin and be better. But great game. My Niners and Seahawks, the takeaways I had, lots of injuries for the Niners.
Per
Um,
usual.
and it's just not great. Jake Moody was waived, missed a field goal, then got one blocked. It's just unacceptable. You can't have that, and you just can't have that liability, as the Commanders seen last night with Matt Gay. Um,
He also missed two, didn't he?
yes, he also missed two. 49ers pretty much won on a prayer last week. And 1-0 is still better than 0-0. My notes, I have two receivers away from being a good offense. That's practically every offense in the league if you're two decently good receivers away. Christian McCaffrey's the whole team. Um, but from the Seahawks position, Sam Darnold didn't really impress me much. Didn't really win them the game, nor did he really lose them the game. Um, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are kind of 1A and 1B right now. I don't really see that there's a big difference um, in their reps, as we could probably see that in some fantasy stuff going on. But all in all, a decent game between
Darn
those two
right.
teams.
I got Zach
Um,
Charbonnet, so I'll take it.
yeah, and then for the Colts and Dolphins, goodness gracious, the Colts just looked good on every single possession, offense, defense. Daniel Dimes was just amazing. And they got the win for Jim Irsay and broke the curse of 13 years or 12 years of not winning since 2013
Really?
of their home opener. It has
Oh,
been
home
12
opener.
years
Okay.
since the Colts have won on a home opener, or just not even home opener, but just week one. They haven't won week one
Really?
and since 2013. So
Sounds like the Bengals.
from the Dolphins' perspective, what's next? Because they did have a players only meeting. Tua looked horrible. The Colts went and pretty much said, you take Tua's first read away. He has nothing, and he'll panic, and that's what he did. Mike McDaniel, you take his first read away, you take what he wants to do away. What does he do? He has proven that he struggles when his game plan is taken away. He can't adjust, and that was put on display against the Colts. And Lou has the Colts defense playing outstanding. Tyler Warren is going to be a stud. He had 3 catches for 43 yards in their own first possession of the game, finished with 7 catches for 70-something yards, I believe, and tied the rookie record along with Harold Fannin from the Browns of 7 catches in their tight end's debut. Um, Michael Pittman went on to say that he believes Tyler Warren could have 200 yards a game if the Colts really wanted him to. So I'm happy for Tyler Warren and the Colts. Daniel Jones, again, no quarterback this century has scored on every possession in their debut with a franchise until Daniel Jones did it with 7 drives of points. He did get lucky, however, they did rough and run into the kicker. So there was at least one punt. The punt didn't necessarily count, but the Colts looked great. The Dolphins looked like crap.
Yep. That's not. Well, one of those things is kind of surprising. Dolphins looking like trash is not surprising at all. Um, so our next section of the episode is our to be determined what the name is, but right now it's third and medium. We're working on it. Um, so this section is going to be focused on our power rankings. Now, this is power rankings after week one. We did not do preseason power rankings. I don't believe in them. Um, and let's just keep an open mind. I'm about to show the graphic here. Let's just keep an open mind and be nice to everybody here. I
He's
don't.
pretty much saying be nice to himself because my rankings kind of look, kind of proportional, kind of ordinary. You guys see this
Mine get a
graphic,
little.
and
Mine
you
get a little
might
toasty.
you might throw up in
Yeah,
your mouth
they
when you see this
they can
these
see it now.
rankings.
So, Dak, do you want to go through yours first, and you want me to go through mine, or do we want to go
Yeah, I'll
top
go
to
through.
bottom or bottom to top?
Um, I'll go top to bottom. They can see the rankings
Mm-hmm.
anyways. I'll start off with the Bills.
Yeah.
What they did on Sunday Night Football just proves to me that they're coming different this year. They are going to be in every game. They're not going to stop. They're going to force the issue, and they're going to play smart. Um, and that I think last year kind of hurt them in a few games. But Josh Allen just did not look unfazed at all, and he coming off an MVP season. Um, Lamar Jackson, another MVP caliber quarterback, dueled, and Josh Allen pretty much just balled out. And I think that's, whoever has the best quarterback in the league beginning of the year, if they have a decent team around them, will always be top 3, top 4 in any power rankings just because of the quarterback play. 2 on my list is the Eagles, defending Super Bowl champs. I think they deserve more credit than what's given. They played the whole game without Jalen Carter, who is probably one of the best D tackles in the league. He's definitely top 5 at a run stopping D tackle in the league. They played the whole game without him. So
That's on
And
him,
that
though. That's on
Cowboys
him, though.
that is on him. But that Cowboys offense, I think, is going to get more. They deserve more than they get. They got a really really good offense. I think they're going to be able to score some points. And guys, come on now. The Eagles just destroyed the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year. They have probably one of the best rushing offenses in the league, along with the Ravens. So they're going to be good. 3, I have the Chargers. Herbert looked great, and they beat the Chiefs. I mean, to beat the Chiefs, got to have something going your way, and you got to be able to win one-score games, because last year the Chiefs won a lot of one-score games, and you got to be disciplined. The Chargers did that. They got a big win in Brazil, and my notes were Keenan Allen. Wow, and this guy was borderline, thinking about retiring, bouncing around the league. He didn't really have a full, position with the Bears, and he balled out. I think he still had 75 or 6 receptions for 70 yards from a guy that, pretty much in fantasy football terms wasn't even on the majority of rosters. So I have the Chargers at 3 just because I think they have a lot of potential, and they have a young running back behind Najee Harris. And if their defense can hold them in games, their offense is going to be just fine. 4, I have the Packers. Even farther, the Packers, after watching last night's game. Can't move them up, obviously, because this is after week 1. But for foreshadowing, the Packers could definitely move up into the top 3. Their offense is really, really good. They got a lot of young wide receivers. It doesn't matter who's catching the rock. I mean, I think his name was Malik Heath. Had an amazing catch last night. Jordan Love is just balling out. And guys, come on, they just got Micah Parsons, who's playing half the snaps. You get him into healthy, this Packers team could be dangerous, and an NFC North that is falling apart. So, I mean, Packers, they got to be up there. 5, the Ravens, they just lost the number 1 overall team in my power rankings. Barely. They played a great game. They got one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL. Lamar Jackson is, obviously top 3 quarterback in the league, could be top 3 quarterback of all time when it comes to rushing quarterbacks, if not already number 1. They're gonna bounce back this week, and I'm not really phased by the Ravens losing week 1 to the Bills. Number 6, I have Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. They're still good. You don't have to worry about it if you're a Chiefs fan. I'm going to look away because I'm not a Chiefs fan, and I know Ant's going to look away and say, who cares? But the Chiefs will be the Chiefs. The NFL will have the Chiefs in there. And just like Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid will have the Chiefs in there. They're going to be a good squad, and you can't have them outside the top 10 for sure, because of who they have at quarterback, who they have as a head coach. You're not going to keep them out of a successful NFL season.
Yeah, so I guess it's my turn. After looking at my list again, I see I have misplaced the Eagles. Full transparency, I threw this list together on my last break at work. So I had like 15 minutes to come up with something, and I was going off of what teams impressed me, how much they scored, how versatile and balanced was their attack, and what did their defense look like. So obviously I had the Bills number 1. They knocked off the Ravens and fought through adversity. That's another thing I looked for. Were they able to come back from down? And again, were they efficient? Were they effective? The Bills were efficient. They were effective. And their defense pulled through. Again, since we're recording this on a Friday, we now know that Ed Oliver is out through week 2, which is a big loss because Ed Oliver was dominant last week.
He indeed was dominant.
Packers, number 2. Again, since we now have seen week 2's game, the Packers are going to be staying there. They just look really good right now. I don't love it, but it's the facts, and I'm sorry to all the Bears and Lions fans that see that. I'm not apologizing to the Vikings because they are on my power rankings. Ravens also top 3. If it wasn't for a fumble, they'd be number one. Let's be honest. It's
Yeah.
really just that one play. And how often does Derrick Henry fumble? Probably like one in every 100 attempts. I don't know the math. I'm not gonna look. Um, the Vikings are number four because of two reasons. One, J.J. McCarthy showed grit and the ability to make a comeback. That's not something you find very often in a young quarterback, not named Patrick Mahomes, right? Very few quarterbacks really do that. Lamar Jackson didn't. Justin Herbert didn't. Joe Burrow might have, but that's because Joe Burrow's also just different. Um, that and their defense is still good. And then we come to number five, which is the most questionable on this list, I believe, which is the Colts. Now, the reason that they're questionable and the reason that Dak gave me a funny look when I put them on my list is because they're the Colts, right? But they just eviscerated the Dolphins, right? I'm not a Colts truther. I'm not a big Colts fan. People at work they don't love my Colts takes, right? But I just keep it real with just about everything I try to. Anyway, outside of the power rankings, which are a little funky right now, but I do stand by the fact that I think the Colts are a top five team right now. They, again, were good at every level, right? So earlier I mentioned I looked for balance. Jonathan Taylor had a good game. Daniel Jones obviously had a good game. He threw for what, three or four touchdowns?
He rushed for two.
Rushed
I
for
think he
two.
threw for one or two.
There you go. Michael Pittman, I know,
So
scored because he was supposed to be good last year and he wasn't. Um, anyways,
back injury.
yeah. So Lou Anarumo really dialed that defense back in. They also created turnovers, which is something else I look for. They capitalized. It's easy to have a pick thrown to you and you not catch it. Excuse me. Cam Bynum did not
And
allow that to happen. Yeah, I get all the interceptions. I don't let you throw it to me and me not take it away from you. I know that's not where you're taking it, but I ran with it the other way. Um,
like an interception.
yeah, exactly. And then my sixth ranked team was the Steelers. I also do not like that the Steelers are on my list. I really preferred to have put the Jets, but since the Jets didn't beat the Steelers, I feel like I have to put the Jets or Steelers. The Jets were my honorable mention. Um, yeah, the Steelers just looked good. I didn't watch the game, but the stats don't lie. Aaron Rodgers threw four touchdowns. When's the last time that happened? You couldn't. 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, if not longer.
Yeah.
I don't know what the run game looked like, but I know that Kenneth Gainwell was a voice or a name that I heard numerous times, more times than I expected to. And then who else? Jalen Warren. What did he do? Now I got to go back and look. Steelers.
Jalen Warren, he did pretty well. Caleb Johnson didn't get many reps at all.
Okay, so maybe they
He,
didn't have a run game. I'm flipping it. The Jets are number six. Steelers are honorable mention. Aaron Rodgers,
oh,
you're
even though
old. Eat rocks, dude. You're not going over 500 this year. I'm sticking by it. Anyways, that's how I roll. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing. If I had the ability to, I'd mark out the Steelers and put Jets, but I don't have the ability to do so. Um, so yeah, that's our power rankings. It's going to change. It's week one. Week one is the most um, unreliable, maybe most inconsistent week of the NFL season. Teams don't know what they're doing. We didn't really have any upsets though, which was surprising this week. I don't think
no,
we
not
did.
really. I think,
So,
and I don't think this week we're gonna get many upsets as well. Just because there's a lot of close teams.
hmm
It's everyone's pretty close. It's the way in the NFL should be.
unless you
You guys
thought
shouldn't
the
have
Patriots
those.
were going to beat the Chargers or Raiders, then I guess that's an upset. They were technically the underdogs if you bet. So, but I
That
know
game was too
better.
close.
I know better. Anyways,
Yeah, seeing these rankings, I'm now scared for the next section, which is our 2 minute warning, our 2 minute drill. Um, we give hot takes,
hmm
and we're gonna give hot takes on what we've seen or what we could possibly see in the futures. Um, And I'll just let you go first
Okay.
because I know there's something cooking
I
in your
was
hot
I was
takes.
thinking about it
And
on
I
the way home from work today because I was like, I gotta come up with something. And I don't know if I've said it on the channel before, but my first one is that I think the Dolphins are going to be the worst team in the AFC. Now, this offseason, it was me and Dak dogging on the Browns, right? But now that might be shifting to us, at least me dunking on the Dolphins, because the Browns came out and had their rookies playing ball. Dylan Sampson had a good game. Carson Schweschinger had himself a good game, and so did Harold Fan. And if you don't have him in your fantasy football, there's your tip. Go get him in fantasy football if he's
it's on my
available.
taxi squad, baby.
Yeah, you stink. Um, and then the Dolphins just sucked. Like, as one of the podcasters I listen to says all the time, their vibes are just down horrendous. And yeah, I feel like that couldn't have been said any better. The entire offseason, Mike McDaniel looked like a sad sack of crap. I think he had a quote about death, like something about like, oh, how are you? Like, oh, we're one day closer to death, something like that. I'm like, dude, you need to relax. Like, trade Tyreek Hill and help yourselves or something. If
Or
anybody even wants him,
can't trade him.
can't trade him. Why?
He's not wanted.
Oh, well, yeah, I get that. But release him. Get him out of there. Do something. Um, Another hot take. I don't know if I really have one. I do. I mean, I believed in the Jets the entire offseason, so that one's not really a hot take. Here's one. I think the rate. No, I don't even know if the Raiders would beat the Chargers this week. I think it's gonna be close though. Um, Looking
You
at
got
the.
20 seconds.
I got 20 seconds. You're putting me on a timer, huh?
Yeah, we got to go to the 2 minute drill. You get 2
Um,
minutes. Like PTI.
Yeah, I don't think I got any others. Oh, Chiefs suck. There's your hot take. I think the Chiefs are mid
Jeez.
this year. There you go.
Jeez.
There's your hot take. Take that one to the
Jeez.
bank as I
Alrighty.
sip on my coffee at
Alrighty.
5:30.
Yeah, that might make me want to spit out my coffee from those hot
You're
takes
welcome.
there.
That's what hot takes are
Um,
for.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just start my my rampage here of week 1. Too early to whatever say. Who cares? Colts could be back. Playoffs.
but I'm
we
crazy.
could get there. Aaron Rodgers is putting up MVP type numbers, but it's only week 1. Can he continuously do it? Yes, he can. In that offense, he's got talent, and the defense is only going to allow him to have the ball more in his hands if they can get it together, not give up 30 to the Jets. Bears defense looked promising until it didn't. The Bears will be the Bears, and the Lions are going back to the old Lions. Sorry, but it's just how it is. The Packers will run the division and will be losing in the NFC Championship game as if they always do when they have a good season. Justin Herbert, great MVP. No, not quite yet. He's there, but he's not there. His team needs to be able to consistently win, and I don't think the Chargers could really consistently win for him to be in the MVP conversation.
Hold on, let's
my
pause.
next one-
I'm throwing in a timeout for your 2-minute warning or 2-minute drill. The reason I didn't have the Chargers in my top power rankings is because they did not run the ball. Justin Herbert looked good. I remember now. Justin Herbert looked good. They did not run the ball well. That's why they weren't on my power rankings. TV timeout's over.
The Niners are turning back into the hospital ironers, where they might as well just be ironing hospital gowns because their
You
whole
tried
team's gonna
way too
be
hard with
back
that
in
one.
there. And the Bills are going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. It's my hot take. Not quite sure if they're going to win or not yet because they went to 4 with Jim Kelly and didn't win any.
It's a very lukewarm take.
Actually, Jim Kelly was the backup, I believe. Right? Was he the backup?
Dude,
Or...
neither of us were born. Don't expect me to know that.
I just know that they lost 4 in a row, and
They
I
did
feel
lose
like the
4 in a
Bills
row.
can get there. And,
They
they're
lost
still
4 in a
gonna
row.
lose.
Okay, that's our 2-minute
Those are my hot
drill.
takes.
Those are our hot takes. Take those to the bank, especially the Chiefs suck. My hot takes for 2 teams are not as good as people thought they were. That's fine. Now our wrap up and final words. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. But before we get to the
Yes,
true conclusion, we are
we will get
adding,
these videos out quicker. We will get these videos out earlier in the week.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
yeah,
These videos should be coming out Wednesdays or Thursdays before Thursday Night Football.
yeah. Our bets episode, which is already up. If you have not already watched that, watch that one after you finish this one. Fair warning. Okay, here's another thing. Our audio, we've been trying to work on it. Hope it's better in this video. My wife said it is, so hopefully it is actually better. Um, we are aware that the audio was kind of funky on the last couple of videos, but we
Correct.
don't have the time to re-record, to be honest. And this is a new project, so like my marketing director says at work, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So that's one. So expect more videos and better quality, hopefully. Two, speaking on the more videos, we are coming out with another new series, hopefully starting next week, including fantasy football. So now on your TD podcast slate, you will have the main episode, which is this one, the fantasy football, which is coming soon, and then the bets or the tailing with TD uh, as well, which is the bet, the pick'em, and the survivor picks. So those are all coming to you guys hopefully soon. The fantasy football is going to prioritize fantasy football, bets, etc. The reason we're separating these is so they're more focused and so we can get more content out to you guys without it being like, oh my gosh, I have to watch this hour-long episode to get to what I want to watch. Whereas the main episode is going to be the recap, and hopefully we'll be able to get to a point where it can be a recap and then looking forward. We'll figure out how to better do that as we go. And then the shorter episodes will also just be little appetizers, I guess, for the entree, which is the main episode. Um, is there anything else that I'm missing?
Not that I believe.
Okay.
Football season.
Football's back, baby. Without further ado, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know what you guys want to see from us. We also made a Twitter. I actually made one today at work. May or may not have been a break. Anyways, Twitter's been made. It is the underscore TD underscore podcast on X. We will post our hot takes and stuff as games go on, and also post our videos on there as well. Links to those, anyways. So yeah, that's just another thing I can add to the little runner down there. And of course, we also have TikTok, YouTube. So I'm mentioning YouTube because this is actually streamed. We just stream and then post to YouTube. So all these are live video. So if you ever want to see them early, just go watch the stream. It's really that simple. So YouTube, TikTok is the TD podcast, and then Instagram is the TD podcast all in one. All that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys enjoy week 2 of the NFL season. I know we will, and we will get back to you guys next week. Hopefully, more regular season schedule. All that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for joining us. Your host, Snowball, and now so do you. Peace out.